are starting to start discussion on examination of respiratory system. Today we will complete it. It is the system examination for respiratory system. Inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. These are the 4 points. This is the surface marking of your lung. Right lung is divided into 3 lobes. Left lung is divided into 2 lobes. Inspection. The points to be noted on inspection of the chest. You have to expose the patient. You have to do the inspection of chest. Means your eyes on the chest of the patient. Now what are the points to be noted while inspecting the chest of patient? First, shape of chest. That is important. Shape of chest. What is the normal shape? Transverse diameter should be more than AP diameter. Then symmetry of the chest. Chest should be bilaterally same, equal. Then movement of chest. Ask the patient to take deep breaths and observe the movement of the chest or the chest expansion, whether equal on both sides, right as well as left, whether chest is expanded good or expansion is adequate or not. Then any chest wall abnormalities, any dilated veins, any engorged veins, any visible pulsation, any scar, anything abnormal you have to note on inspection. Then position of trachea. These are the points to be noted on inspection. So shape of chest, normally transverse diameter should be more than AP diameter. Chest movement should be bilaterally equal, symmetrical. Chest expansion should be adequate, equal on both sides. Position of trachea should be central. Pattern of respiration. What is the pattern? Whether it is thoracoabdominal, abdominothoracic or abdominal, you have to note down. Then use of accessory muscles if visible and any dilated veins, scar and sinuses. So these are the points to write down in inspection. Then see, this is the inspection of trachea. Now what is trail sign? There is undue prominence of the head of sternocleidomastoid muscle on the side to which trachea is deviated. Normal position is central, but if it is deviated to right side, then the head of sternocleidomastoid muscle become more prominent, and that is called as trail sign. Then if anteroposterior diameter is more than transverse diameter, it is called as barrel shaped chest, which is commonly seen in COPD patient with emphysema. So this is barrel shaped chest. This chest is barrel shaped chest. AP diameter is more than transverse diameter. Another abnormal shape is pigeon chest. See, the sternum is protruded forward. It is looking like the chest of pigeon, and it is seen in rickets, vitamin D deficiency. So these are the two abnormal shapes. Then, which are the conditions in which chest movements are decreased? So chest movements are decreased obviously in any painful condition like fracture, rib, trauma, contusion, and pleuritis, then pleural effusion, pneumothorax on the affected side. On the affected side, automatically patient will restrict the movement because of pain. So chest movements are decreased in these conditions. Chest expansion is also decreased in the above conditions. Points on palpation. You have to confirm the chest expansion whether adequate and bilaterally equal or not by holding the chest in your both hands. Then any local tenderness, then position of trachea and tactile hypertrophy. So tenderness is present in case of empyema. Empyema means it is the pus in pleural space. Presence of pus in pleural space is called as empyema. Then local inflammation of pleura, that is pleuritis. Then soft tissue infection or osteomyelitis or fracture ribs or trauma to the chest. So there can be local tenderness present. So you have to just palpate the chest of the patient and observe any local tenderness. Now this is the method to examine for chest expansion or to decide about the chest expansion. This is holding the chest in both hands with thumb in the midline. Ask the patient to take deep breaths and feel the chest expansion whether adequate and equal on both sides. This is for anterior chest, this is for posterior chest, this is for posterior chest, and this is for upper thoracic expansion. So this is the method of checking chest expansion. So these are the causes of restricted expansion of chest. General restriction and restriction on affected side or on diseased side. General restriction is very common in COPD patient and in extensive bilateral lung disease. Asymmetrical expansion seen in pleural effusion. If there is pleural effusion on right side, chest expansion is decrease on right side. If there is pleural effusion on left side, chest expansion decrease on left side. So the chest expansion will be decrease on affected side or on disease side. So these are the diseases which cause decreased expansion of chest. Pleural effusion, pneumothorax, collapse of lung, fibrosis of lung. These are the conditions in which there is decreased expansion of chest. See, this is the method to check the position of trachea. Index finger, ring finger over the sternoclavicular joint, and with the help of middle finger you have to check the position of trachea, whether it is central or deviated to one side. So this is the method. Now these are the causes for deviation of trachea. Deviation of trachea on the diseased side means on the same side, and deviation of trachea on the opposite side. That is, trachea is pushed up or trachea is pulled. So trachea is pulled on the diseased side in case of collapse of lung and pulmonary fibrosis, and it is pushed up to opposite side in case of pneumothorax and pleural effusion. That means deviation of trachea on same side in collapse and fibrosis, deviation of trachea on opposite side in case of pneumothorax and massive pleural effusion. Now, tactile vocal primitus. What is meant by tactile vocal primitus? It is about the vibration felt by your hand when the patient is asked to repeat something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 9, 9, 99, anything the patient has to repeat. And by putting your hand over the chest of the patient, you have to feel the vibration. When patient is speaking, you have to feel that vibration. The tactile vocal primitus, it is increased in consolidation because it is better conductor of sound. Solid tissue is better conductor of sound, so it is increased in consolidation. And decrease in pleural effusion because air and fluid, they are the bad conductor of sound. So in case of pleural effusion, it is decreased. In case of consolidation, it is increased. So this is the method to check tactile vocal primitus. You have to keep your ulnar border of the hand over the patient's chest. Anteriorly, you have to check on both sides. Then posteriorly, like this, you can keep the ulnar border of your hand, or you can keep your hand flat also. But for better localization, this is the correct method. With the help of ulnar border of hand, this is the correct method for better localization. So posteriorly, anteriorly, in the axillary region, you have to check the tactile vocal primitus. Ask the patient to turn the head. That is important. Ask the patient to turn the head opposite to you, and ask to say something repeatedly. 1, 2, 3, 9, 9, 9, or 99, anything. To say repeatedly, and you feel the vibrations to your hand. Now the percussion of the lung fields. Percussion means you have to percuss the chest of patient. That is the lung field. You have to percuss. Just percussion means just, in short, it is tapping. You have to tap, you have to percuss the chest. So you have to percuss the chest anteriorly, in the axillary area, and posteriorly. Now what is the method of percussion? The method, the pleximeter. Pleximeter means the middle finger of the examiner's left hand. The middle finger of left hand should be opposed tightly over the chest wall. Means the middle finger of your left hand you have to keep over the chest of the patient, tightly opposed over the intercostal spaces. Your finger should be in the intercostal spaces, not over the bone. Because if you tap over the bone, automatically it will dull. So, tapping over the bone is a stony dull note. Tapping over soft tissue is dull note. So, you can differentiate. There are three types of notes: resonant note, dull note, stony dull note. Now, how to differentiate dull, stony dull, and resonant? If you tap over the soft tissue, if you tap over the soft tissue, it is dull note. If you tap over the bony part, bony prominence, it is stony dull note. And the other note is resonant note. So the fleximeter means the middle finger of examiner's left hand that should be opposed tightly over the chest wall, over the intercostal space, not over the bone or not over the rib. The other finger should not touch the chest wall, means other finger should be off the chest wall. Greater pressure should be applied over the thick chest wall. If chest wall is thick, you have to do more pressure, or your finger should be opposed firmly to remove the air pockets. Then the flexor. The middle of the index finger of the examiner's right hand is used to hit the middle phalanx of the fleximeter. The percussion movement should be sudden. It should be originating from the wrist. The movement should occur at the wrist joint. The finger should be removed immediately after tapping, should be removed immediately after striking to avoid the damping. Then proceed from the area of normal resonance to the area of impaired dull note. Then you can easily appreciate the difference. The long axis of the fleximeter is kept parallel to the border of the organ to be percussed. These are the cardinal rules of percussion. Now see, this is the method of percussion. The examiner's left hand, the middle finger of the left hand of the examiner, it is kept over the intercostal space, flat and tightly opposed the chest wall to remove the air pockets. Other fingers should be off the chest wall. Now, the middle finger or the index finger of the examiner's right hand is used to tap the middle phalanx of the middle finger of left hand, that is the fleximeter. So you can use either index finger or middle finger for tapping or for percussion. See, this is the middle finger which is used for tapping or for percussing the middle phalanx of the fleximeter. The movement should occur at the wrist joint. See, this should be the way of tapping or percussing. So this is the fleximeter, the middle finger of the left hand tightly opposed to the chest wall in the intercostal space, other fingers off the chest wall. Then this is the middle finger of the right hand which is used for tapping over the middle phalanx. The movement should occur suddenly at the wrist joint, and after tapping or after striking you should remove your finger immediately to avoid damping. You should remove your finger after striking immediately, and the movement should occur at the wrist joint like this. So this is the method of percussion. This is the way of percussion. In that way you have to percuss the whole chest. This is the second intercostal space, then third intercostal space, then fourth intercostal space, like that. Right side, left side, laterally, and then at the back. So you have to percuss the whole chest, anteriorly, axillary area, as well as posteriorly. And this is the method of tapping, percussing. Now after percussion, what you get? If your lung is normal, your lung contains air. Your lung contains air. If it is normal, you should get resonant mode. If air is present, there should be resonant mode. If there is pneumothorax, means air in the pleural cavity, it is hyperresonant mode. If there is solidification of the lung tissue, no air in the lung, in that part of the lung. Solidification means there is no air in that part of lung. Then it will be dull note. So causes for dull note: pulmonary consolidation, collapse, and fibrosis. These are the causes for dull note of percussion. Normally there is resonant note. Pneumothorax, there is hyperresonant note. Causes for dull note: pulmonary consolidation, collapse, and fibrosis. And stony dull note in case of fluid. Whatever the fluid, whether it is pus, whether it is fluid, or whether it is blood. So pleural effusion, there is stony dull note. Empyema, there is stony dull note. Pneumothorax means blood in the pleural cavity. There is also stony dull note. So pleural effusion, pneumothorax. Now the auscultation of respiratory system. Auscultation, you have to auscultate with the help of stethoscope the chest of the patient by keeping your stethoscope over the chest, anteriorly as well as posteriorly. Now, what to auscultate? You have to auscultate the breath sounds. Ask the patient to take deep breaths, and you have to auscultate or appreciate that sound. And another point is focal resonance. Just like the tactile vocal primitus, that is by palpation. With the help of stethoscope, by auscultation, it is called as focal resonance. Now listen with the patient should be relaxed, breathing deeply through his open mouth. Auscultate each side alternately, comparing the finding over a large number of equivalent positions to ensure that you do not miss any localized abnormalities. So anteriorly from above the clavicle down to the sixth rib, laterally from axilla to the eighth rib, posteriorly down to the level of 11th rib. Assess the quality and amplitude of the breath sound. Then identify any gap between inspiration and expiration of the patient. Then listen any other abnormal sounds, added sounds, adventitious sounds. Then avoid auscultation within 3 cm of midline anteriorly or posteriorly, as these areas may transmit sound directly from the trachea or main bronchus. So away 3 cm away from the midline you have to auscultate. So chest should be ausculted anteriorly, posteriorly and axillary area. Every part of the chest should be auscultated to avoid missing any abnormality, or you should not miss any localized abnormality, and you have to compare both sides, right as well as left, any difference. Now breath sounds, when you are asking the patient to take deep breaths. So obviously with the help of stethoscope you hear that breath sounds. So there are two types of breath sounds, vesicular and bronchial breath sounds. Now what are the differences in vesicular and bronchial breath sound? So vesicular is normal breath sound, bronchial is abnormal breathing. Vesicular is normal breathing, bronchial is abnormal breathing. Now what is vesicular breath sounds? In that inspiratory phase is longer than expiratory phase, because inspiration is always active process, expiration is a passive process. So inspiratory phase is longer than expiratory phase. The ratio is 3:1. There is no pause between inspiration and expiration. That is our normal breathing. Vesicular breathing is normal breathing. Another is bronchial breath sound. Bronchial breath sound is that the duration of inspiration is short and expiration is more prolonged. Inspiration is short, expiration is more prolonged, or inspiration expiration are equal. And there is pause between inspiration and expiration. That is the difference. So these last two differences are important. See, this is vesicular breathing. Inspiration is active and more prolonged. Expiration is short, passive, and no gap. Here, inspiration, expiration are equal, or expiration is more prolonged, and there is gap in between inspiration and expiration. So this is bronchial breathing. This is vesicular breathing. Vesicular is normal, bronchial is abnormal. Now, causes for decreased breathing sounds. If you are not able to hear the breathing sounds, or another term for this is air entry. Air entry. When patient is taking breaths, so it is also called as air entry. Air entry on right side, air entry on left side. Or the causes for diminished breathing sounds. So diminished breathing sounds, these are seen in case of pneumothorax, in case of pleural effusion, in case of fibrosis, in case of collapse of lung. There will be decreased breath sounds. So these are the causes for decreased breath sounds: pneumothorax, pleural effusion, collapse of lung, and lung fibrosis. Then generalized decrease seen in COPD patient. So these are the causes for decreased breath sounds. Now causes for bronchial breathing. Causes for bronchial breathing. The most important cause for bronchial breathing is lung consolidation. You remember just one cause. The cause for bronchial breathing is lung consolidation. That is sufficient for you to remember only one cause for bronchial breath sound, that is lung consolidation. Now, added sounds. So, we discuss about breath sounds. Ask the patient to take deep breaths and auscultate that breath sounds, vesicular or bronchial, whether they are present equally on both sides or not, or whether there is any absent breathing sounds, or whether it is vesicular or bronchial. So, breathing sound should be equal on both sides, and it should be vesicular type of breathing. That is the normal finding. If breathing sounds are decreased, that means some disease is present. So this decrease in breathing sounds or breath sounds can be generalized as in COPD, or can be localized if there is localized disease. And The presence of bronchial breathing is always abnormal and very commonly seen in consolidation. Now, what are the added sounds? The added sounds are abnormal sounds that arise in the lung itself or in the pleura. These added sounds most commonly arise in the lung are best referred to as either they are called wheeze, rhonchi, or crackles. So, two type of abnormal sounds: crackling, crepitations, or wheeze or rhonchi. So, rhonchi are musical sounds. Wheeze is also a musical sound, audible without stethoscope, which very common in bronchial asthma patient. You can hear that musical sound or whistling sound in asthma patient. That is called as wheeze or rhonchi. And crackles are coarse crepitations. These crepitations very common in COPD patient. So crackles or crepitations, these are the harsh sounds. So creaking, this pleural rub, there is no importance for you people. You just remember two abnormal sounds, crackles and so crackles crepitation present in COPD patient and rhonchi present in bronchial asthma patient. These are musical sounds just like whistling, which are because of airway narrowing. And the crepitations are because there is too much airway inflammation in COPD patient or in bronchitis patient. There is airway inflammation, there is increased mucus secretion, there is edema in the airway wall. So when air passes through such secretions or through the narrowed lumen of the airway, it will produce crepitations. Crepitations are two types, coarse and fine. There are two types of crepitation, coarse and fine. Now causes for added sounds. Crepitations are coarse and fine. Coarse crepitations are very common in COPD patient, bronchitis patient, pulmonary edema. Fine crepitations are seen in acute left ventricular failure at the basis of lung and in interstitial lung disease. So coarse crepitations, the most common cause is COPD, bronchitis. Fine crepitations in acute left ventricular failure, interstitial lung disease. Rhonchi, these musical whistling sounds seen in bronchial asthma patient. Now you have to write down, this is the pattern to write down your finding. On inspection, you have to write down the shape of chest is normal, bilaterally symmetrical, movement of the chest are equal on both sides, normal, trachea appears central in position, then no use of axillary muscles, no skeletal deformity, apical impulse position if visible, no directed veins, no engorgement, no scar, no swelling. So this is the method to write down your finding. For palpation, you can palpate apical impulse, or it is not necessary to write in respiratory system. You just write the chest expansion by holding the chest, that is expansion of the chest is normal, adequate, symmetrical. Tracheal position is central. Then you have to take respiratory rate of the patient. Respiratory rate, pattern of respiration, no use of axillary muscles and no tenderness. So these are the point of palpation. Important is position of trachea, chest expansion and local tenderness. And then respiratory rate. Pattern of respiratory rate, use of axillary muscles. So pattern of respiratory rate and use of X-ray muscle you can write down in inspection also, because there is no need of palpation. You can just inspect whether patient is using X-ray muscles or not. So in inspection also you can write down that there is no use of X-ray muscles. Then pattern of respiration also you can write down in inspection whether it is thoracoabdominal, abdominal thoracic or abdominal. So in palpation important is expansion of the chest, position of trachea, local tenderness and tactile vocal premitus. Tactile vocal premitus. So tactile local parameters, you just write down it is equal on both sides. It is equal on both sides. Only if there is a case of pleural effusion or there is a case of consolidation. So in consolidation, tactile local parameters increase over that part. In pleural effusion, tactile local parameters decrease on the affected side. Otherwise, you can write down as equal on both sides. So these are the findings on palpation. In percussion, if your lungs are normal, then you can write down that there is resonant sound all over the chest. There is resonant sound all over the chest. If your case is consolidation, you get dull note over that area. If your case is pleural effusion, you get stony dull note on the affected side. So you can write down that there is stony dull note on right side. And the area, that is infraxillary area or infrascapular area or inframammary area or the intercostal spaces, whatever. So you can write down presence of stony dull note in case of pleural effusion, presence of dull note in case of consolidation. Otherwise, if lungs are normal, you can write down that resonance note present all over the chest. In case of auscultation, you have to write down that breathing sounds present on both sides equally, or you can write down that air entry equal on both sides. And it is a vesicular type of breath sounds. And if there are no added sounds, you write down no added sounds. If added sounds are present, you write down that crepitations or ronca are present. And then focal resonance. So you have to write down like that. So this is the method to check focal resonance. It is just like the tactile vocal test, but that is by palpation and this is by auscultation. Ask the patient to say something repeatedly and you have to auscultate. So it is again decrease in pleural effusion, increase in consolidation. So listen with the stethoscope over the affected area. Ask the person to say 99, 999, 123, anything. Repeat over the same area on the opposite side also. You have to compare both sides. It is increase over solid tissue, reduce over air and fluid. Just like the tactile vocal same. That is by palpation. This is by auscultation. So this completes your examination of respiratory system.
Ya, ya,
Then we will discuss on examination.